We don't want you to be the bottleneck. We want the system to be always multiplying on your behalf. And I think, once people do that, that's when they start seeing options.
Welcome to Unstoppable Podcast with Harry Sardinas, inspiring conversations with influential millionaires, investors, thought leaders, entrepreneurs who are making a massive difference with their innovative products and services, and sharing the challenges and wisdom of how they sold their first million.
Yeah, and how they are when we see education and financial education, we were discussing a little bit before the broadcast, a challenge that we face with entrepreneurs, because exactly you agree 100%. If you a good entrepreneur, that doesn't mean that you have been a good investor. However, a lot of good investors, they have been good entrepreneurs before. Those ones that have these VC funds, and you see that they have been in here podcast in this podcast, and they have been uh, they some of them have one exit, two exit, three exits, seven. And they say, okay, Harry, look, I beat the process. I know how to scale the business, and I'm investing in those business because I already done it as an entrepreneur several times and already find the commonalities and beat the process. But not necessarily a good entrepreneur. He has financial literacy to out of the business create a vehicle to become financially free, right? Most of we discuss a lot in this broadcast that very common that happen as an entrepreneur. You make money, you reinvest in the business. You make money, you reinvest in the business. You make money to spend, reinvest in the business. Yeah, we all have done this. And then what happened? Then credit crunch come, COVID comes, a drastic change in technology come, and in a couple of months you're out of business. You don't even know what happened, and all your life work disappear, and you don't have any asset. You don't have any vehicle to get. You need to start all over again, right? Which is going to be very easy because you already have a lot of experience. However, you have to start all over again. That you like to do business, that's okay, but it's good to do it because you want to, not because you have to.
Right.
And the some idea that we always discuss here is, okay, fine, if you have a business and you make some money, why, let's say like you take this money and you invest it in a property, something simple so everybody understand, and you buy a property, you rent it out, and then after you pay your mortgage, you have a cash flow. Let's suppose that you have $1,000, $2,000 monthly cash flow. Get that cash flow money, use it for marketing on your own business. Guess what happened? You're gonna have a lot of monthly money that you can use to expand that business, and then the business might grow. Okay, buy another property or invest in another asset that gives you that can flourish. Why? You are kind of building your diversifying and creating other verticals. And in case that you go out of business, which is business, no, most of the time don't last forever. We all think that when we have a business, gonna outlast, gonna live more than us, and this is quite uncommon. Uh, you have some asset, you have another source of income that you can even be financially free and build a business, expanding, create a lot of job, and anything happen, well, you got out of business, but somehow you're financially free because you invest in other vehicles and now you have all this money. But for that, again, Joe, I agree 100% with you. Entrepreneurs, they are not necessarily they have to be good investors. Actually, it's very rare to find them. Or you find that entrepreneurs are good investors, it's those ones that have one, two, three, four exits, and they have a lot of money, have a lot of experience. They know how to invest. But the typical entrepreneur that have one business and expanded, whatever, Uh, Opposite, they get so emotional attached to the business that everything they got, they put it in there without knowing the huge risk that this take place. So why do what can we do in order to change or to upgrade the line of thinking of entrepreneurs? Because we believe from this podcast that entrepreneurs deserve to be wealthy, deserve to be happy, and deserve to be healthy because they do take more responsibility and more risk than anybody out there. They employ people. The reason that they exist is because society growth. And at the previous podcast, we have with an entrepreneur that they were social entrepreneur, right? That was making family homes and making money and do good and create a big impact on society. So, but entrepreneurs usually we take all this pressure, all these risks, and if we are lucky, we can exit the business, which is really really small percentages, and then they're left with nothing, end up with zero. And if they got all and they didn't manage, all this job was for nothing. And some of them end up with, this emotional pain, becoming physical pain. They end up with heart attack, cancer, frustration, things like this. So what can we do in order to lead entrepreneurs that parallel is the most important thing is not only start your business, grow your business, make a million. More important is exactly what you say, your step one. Use that business as a vehicle to build your financial freedom. So then you go to your business because you want to know, because you have to. If you go out of business, you can open another one because you want to know, because you have to. If you want to do travel the world or whatever, you can do whatever because you can feel your long calendar. This is something I've been so lucky in the last 18 years. I love this concept. And you were sharing or saying, well, in the last 18 years, I've been filling my own calendar. I feel quite lucky that that I made myself in this space, and I'm telling you, it's priceless. I won't change that for any money in the world. And so tell us, Joe, why do you think there is that gap? How can we fill that gap? Because between entrepreneurs and financial education, financial freedom, uh, that I think both skills should be parallel, but this is not actually what is happening. They are focusing the business, want to grow a business, everything about the business. Want to know if Joe, you come to the mastermind. Let's talk about what can you do parallel and have financial freedom. Say, no, I'm very busy in my business. I don't have time. I just need to focus on that without knowing the big risks that they are involved. So what can we do to close the gap?
I tell you, the first thing is you have to realize what you just said is your business is not the end, it's just the means. Your
Hmm.
business, your active income should always be feeding your passive income. But what most people never do, they have to change their mindset to say, this is an active income and I need to build passive. They just keep focused on the active and they never look up, they never gain freedom, and they never have another asset. So to your point, if they don't sell the business, they just stay working forever, right?
Hmm.
They don't have
Hmm.
options. And so what we found is that most people just need a system. They need something that they can put on autopilot, that when their active income comes into their bank account, that then it goes to an income account. And the income account then pays the bills down to its expense account. And anything that's left over in that income account, not left in the business, but paid out to you as an owner, distribute all of that money to yourself, push that money into your investment side, into your then we call it like a hub, your investment hub. And we use a concept called infinite banking to make sure that our dollars are always compounding. They're growing just like the banks would do with their money. We encourage people to do the same. And once they do that, now they have an ability to leverage and buy passive income assets that produce a perpetual passive income that will continue to grow. If you do that, then you no longer have the issue of no options. You have your active income coming in, and then you have your whole passive income operating system working simultaneously. Like you said, it's working 24/7, doesn't get tired, and it's being done automatically. Because if you're like me, you're busy as an entrepreneur and you don't slow down. And if things are not automated, you become the bottleneck. We don't want you to be the bottleneck. We want the system to be always multiplying on your behalf. And I think, once people do that, that's when they start seeing options.
Follow us for more interviews with world's most influential, audacious entrepreneurs that overcame challenges and adversity, providing you with the blueprint of how they sold their first million so you can grow your business exponentially.